I have so many lights going. If I'm not blind by the end of this, then you know what? I'm a real G. I'm fixing this. Hello. So I figured it would be easy to just do like a privated live stream. I'm sorry, my chin is breaking out and I just put stuff on it again because it looks like shit. Anyways, I figured I would do a privated live stream so we could go over and react today to a video. First off, hello, my name is Gab. Second, I feel like I'm dying for air and choking, and I really like the color on here. I might start over. I just let out the most grossest cough. Anybody else have asthma and your chest gets like really, really tight? I feel like I'm squishing my boobies together, but like really, really tight in the winter where you feel like this is like your lungs, where your lungs should be more open. Yeah, hi, me. I have an inhaler. Oh, I see it. Anyways, today I wanted to go over a few things. First, my video about Eugenia that I made got really glitchy. Of course, my friends are texting me when I'm doing this. It was really glitchy. Oh my god, so much better. Quality air. Anyways, I don't know why it went glitchy. I don't even have the file to redo it, but I left it up because you know what? If you're not visually watching it and you're listening to it, it's perfectly fine. I'll leave that down below, but today I wanted to do a reaction of Jaclyn Glenn's video with her husband now to be, and excuse me, I don't know who the other girl is to be honest, but they're a friend of Eugenia's, and they're gonna be talking about the video she did with Shane and how it's like a lie. So I figured I would do like a live reaction for you guys of it. And yeah, I didn't go live only because I've never done one of these before. I'm hoping the volume's going to be up enough and I want to watch it before I put it up, make sure there's no issues like before. But basically that is what we're going to be up to today. I'm going to put the volume up so you can hear it. And let's get into this video and begin. I'm going to be stopping and starting a lot, but it will be worth it. So.
Your friends aren't doing anything, whatever, but I'm sure behind the scenes, I'm sure everybody was always reaching out and whatever.
There was almost like some people that like never really said anything to me like before, but then like later on were kind of like bullying me into like trying to make like decisions for me.
There's a lot in that video that was untrue, and I feel very confused because this is very similar to a thing we had before where...
So I'm gonna have this video linked down below in my description box, but it's called The Return of Eugenia Cooney, The Real Truth, Full Story, in quotations. I told you the people who are in it, and can I just say, I've watched Jaclyn's channel before all this, like, and she looks different. She looks really worn down in this. I kind of actually feel bad. Her husband has, like, no expression. Yeah. I'll put it down below if you want to watch it with me, though. But this is going to get deep quick.
Where we had to make a choice between something that could possibly hurt Eugenia, but thought it was for her best interests. And I think right now, this video is gonna piss her off. I mean, she has right now a seemingly beautiful recovery story that I don't want to mess with. I don't want to make seem negative. I would love for everything in that video to have been the whole truth, so that it could truly be celebrated, but it was, I think, a manipulation.
This girl must have really bad anxiety, how she's trying to get her words out. I mean, I'm not even making fun. I have anxiety. So I know, and when I watched this the first time, I had like mixed feelings because I was like, well, I watched hers and it seems like she's recovered. So in my head, I was like, I'm just gonna do what everybody else did. Watch, you know, how the next year goes and stuff like that, to make a stance on it. Now, before that, I know some people have seen my video from YouNow where I met Eugenia and they hate me so much for it, and that was right in the beginning when I started becoming a fan of her. As you know, I'm a really small built person. I have disabilities, if you didn't know that, and I have a disease that just makes me, you know, underweight and small. I'm losing my hair, as you could tell. Yeah, it sucks. But anyways, I've always felt like I could get on the same level as her, though, because, like, she was bullied for being tiny and for what we thought underweight because of just, like, health. She would say, like, she used to say to people, too, like, oh, I just have, like, health problems. I just have health problems, but she would never disclose them. So, as me having a health problem, I always was like, oh, it's just a health problem. When in reality, you know what I mean? Obviously more than that, but I always could put myself in that position because I was always made fun of for my weight when it was my health. So I don't want people to like come after me that I was like cheering her on in that aspect, because I don't even read half the comments because they make my stomach turn, because it's not the case at all. And that's why I'm speaking out about it now and stuff, because one, I still love Eugenia Cooney, but two, I've struggled with my own eating things because of being in so much pain sometimes, you know what I mean? So I feel like I kind of can, not exactly how she's feeling, but put myself in that position. I remember my lowest weight last year and the year before that, when I was really, really sick in the midst of my disease. People on TikTok would be like, oh, you skeleton, you're underweight, you're dying, blah, blah, blah. Same crap she goes through. So it really does kind of, like, even if you tell yourself, like, you ignore that, like, that kind of hate, especially with, like, an ED, is really, really terrible. So let's continue.
And I think potentially, I don't know if Shane knows the whole story, or maybe he does, but not the details, potentially, and decided.
This girl in the end, by the way, next to Jaclyn with the gray hair, literally I feel so bad for her. Like, she looks like she's just gonna start being hysterical, and she just keeps like messing around, fidgeting with shit. Like, I kind of feel bad for her, like she's gonna break.
To go along with it because he thought it would help her. I think that he has her best interests at heart, but the video that he posted was so frustrating and hurtful to me, and I have stayed very silent for a long time for fear of her not getting treatment. It was communicated to me that if I ever talked about what actually happened, that there was a chance that as a result she'd be pulled out of treatment. So I never said anything because I was terrified. I had a Keemstar on the phone.
That sounds like her mom right there. I just wanted to say that real quick. If she ever said anything about the situation or what happened, that she'd be pulled out of treatment. When in reality, it sounds like she was only in like a treatment thing for 2 days. Or I'm sorry, yeah, for 2 days. They held her for 2 days and her mom came and got her, I thought. Or was it a month? I've been hearing 2 days, a month. Tell me what you know in comments down below.
Phone with me trying to get information, and I didn't know what to do. He was very understanding, and I appreciate that he didn't say anything because I felt like I was gonna ruin that. You guys help me out. I don't know.
This entire
I thought that
video
girl started
feels,
crying. That's why I threw my glasses on.
It's a beautiful story, but I still feel fear very much for
He's trying to be
Eugenia.
respectful.
There's a lot more to the story and to the situation. You know, they glossed over some things that are extremely
Jaclyn's
important,
tweaking out right now in the middle, to be honest.
real
She's still
recovery.
literally losing her mind.
And I think that it's important that she,
Sorry if I'm blinding you guys.
number one, knows that we care about her. We were discussed
so much
in this video as bullies and brought up as bad people.
Oh,
and
yeah, they
we
were.
had probably the hardest.
If you didn't see the original storyline, basically she was like, these people tried to get me help, and it was awful. Like, she made them look like awful human beings. Probably props with her mom, but
Time of our lives to help her. And, you know, we knew that it was risky.
Oh, that girl in the end's crying.
To help her.
She broke.
And we had to
Aww.
lie to her.
She's so pretty.
I've lost sleep. Like, we have to explain what we did, but like doing
She's
what we
so
did,
pretty too. I feel so bad.
It took a lot out of me.
Aww.
I was I don't know how to. Where to
Holy
start.
shit, her
The
earlobes are
situation
hung.
has been her.
This has nothing to even do with it. No hate. Oh my god, they are so stretched out. I don't know if she's trying to close them, but girl, those are not going to close on their own. Holy.
Life has been manipulated.
I don't know
for
who she is, by the way,
years,
either.
And it's currently
You know,
still
I can
being
tell you.
manipulated right in front of everyone.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful story, right? Like, it looks like watching Shane's video. It's such like a happy feel
Eva.
good.
Her name is
And we
Eva.
should be
And
happy.
it's completely covering all of the shit that is still there, I
Eva.
think, and could still be a problem. And there are still puppet strings right now being pulled that I like. It's all out there now. I mean, if there's a Shane Dawson video, right, everybody's gonna know at least enough to, I feel like, take the pressure off of me to keep my mouth shut. Like, I felt like I had like people just like holding a gun at me, like, and saying, if you say anything, this and this could happen, and now it's gone and it's down, and I can be honest, and I feel like a dick because I had to lie, pretend like I didn't know what was going on. People constantly harassing me, thinking, wow, you're a shitty friend.
Did you hear that right, too? Is she threatened by somebody's family? That's so it's definitely sounding like. Because who else would threaten her like that?
And all of us, like, you guys are shitty friends because you have this girl in front of you that you're doing nothing for. But we were doing everything, like, and one of the things that bothers me the most is that she said they seemed like they didn't care until they were bullies.
Everyone's a bully
I
to
talked to her
Eugenia.
so many times, and she had the
I'm
same
a bully,
response.
apparently.
I'm fine, everything's fine. Like, there's nothing to worry about. And it was very similar to what you would see her reactions be in live stream. Some people would ask her, you know, are you okay? It was always, yeah, I'm fine.
And it was also the exact same communication that would happen whenever police would come to her house, which is a very real thing, and many people on the internet were calling.
I was just gonna say what he just said. I bet people online were probably calling California area trying to get a hold of somebody to help her. So that doesn't surprise me that police came all the time. It surprises me that they didn't take her. I just still can't even.
The police, we were calling the police.
Sorry, my face is so itchy right now. Not why.
Red tape on that, but when they would answer the door and they had a script and they would turn the police away, and this video with Shane is another example of a script and the police or Shane in this situation walking away feeling that that person is fine, and I don't know if that's the truth.
I mean,
I hope so.
Yeah.
Oh my
I know
God.
that, I know I've tried to talk to her before. I know you've tried to talk to her before. There's been many incidents where I would either send a text, or I'm sure I asked her in person at some point, and we did it at Jesse's birthday party. Yeah, so we would get the same response, and it was difficult to see, like, someone that was so sweet, like, deteriorating in front of your eyes, and that there was nothing you could do about it because they wouldn't open up. And granted, I understand it's a very difficult thing to go through, and, like, I struggled with an eating disorder for years and still do, and to an extent I understand how she feels, but
This Eva girl has me, like, tearing up. She's actually, like, so sweet. And I do believe that they did pull her, so I didn't ask her about it. Because, like, wouldn't you do that with your own friends? Like, would you be afraid to? Like, comment down below. But I feel like I would if I saw one of my friends. I'd be like, are you good? Like, is everything okay? You know what I mean?
we were basically, like, blocked out from her brain when we would ask if she was okay, and that was just her defense mechanism, whether she realized maybe she had a problem at the time or she just didn't want to talk about it. But we tried a lot.
And we were eventually forced to have to take drastic measures. And that is where I think she's referring to it as bullying. In our defense, it was purely with love, and it was purely to help save one of the most beautiful people we've ever met.
So, I'm going to stop him right there quick. Do you ever notice too on her streams, or if you watch stuff, if people are just like, hey, like they donate, I said this in my last video, and they're like, hey, I really care about you, and I just really want to get you help, or you need to get the help, like, you deserve help, I hope you're okay, and she's just like, oh, I'm fine, and like, has that fake voice over it. Do you notice that voice compared to the Shane video voice too? And Katie Morton video? Two different voices. Like, I know one's more of like a serious situation, but that's a serious topic they're bringing up to her, and she's like QCing it. Do you get full circle? Okay. This is so heavy.
The Harley Davidson pass. We had. Do we tell the details? I think we might have to.
First of all, I don't know how to feel about some of the things in the video, like, because I know Katie. I know Katie Morton. I've reached out to her. I have emails with her explaining the situation.
Now I just paused it because you put an email up on the screen, and I'm going to read it to you guys. But what I was gonna say is that if you guys want me to do a video about Katie, I will, because she's kind of sus. Like, for real, I don't understand her involvement at all. I don't know if she was just trying to be like good for two sides, but even some of the stuff in her coming back with her video was just like, really, I don't know. I just don't think she should have said some of the stuff she said. But let me read this. Just an update. The data is in place, is amazing, but they do require a doctor appointment before taking anyone or interviewing them. So I have to find a way to do that, which is difficult since she's not responding to texts. Called Pet and they can't go to her place to do the 5150. I keep calling it 151 like the alcohol. Has anybody else noticed that or realized that? Call me out on my shit. I don't even like 151. It's hard ass stuff. Anyways, oh my god. We need to lighten this up anyways, this whole freaking conversation. Do the 5150 since they're not law enforcement and need permission to enter the house, which they'll never get from her mom. They do not want me to be in the house with her when they arrive, which won't happen for the same reason, and also I can't get a hold of her. Called the police when they've been there several times. When I mentioned her address, the response was, oh, that YouTube girl. Yeah, we've been there. Apparently they say she's fine. I know, ridiculous, but since she's not suicidal and doesn't want help, they legally can't do anything. And I'm gonna say too, I think that's why Katie's given up on the whole situation, because she even said in her video, you have to want help, and she understands that, and Eugenia does not want the help. Even their psychiatric department has visited her and had the same conclusion, which blows my mind. My only thing at this point is to get her out of her house and call Pet to whatever location I'm at with her, going to keep texting and inviting her to things until she goes, which might take a while since she's being so distant. I think part of that is because people keep talking. Sorry, I was reading something on the screen that came up on Facebook. I think part of that's because people keep talking about her online and tweeting at her or about her. When this happens, she tends to be more. Okay.
Situation I was in with Eugenia because I wanted to help her. I tried calling the police. They kind of left.
There is more, and it actually does say Katie Morton. So, I mean, anybody can make any kind of email, but I'm just telling you what I see on the screen. Going to keep texting, inviting her to things until she goes, which might take a while. I read that. When this happens, she tends to be. Okay, so that's whatever. Jaclyn. Hi, Jaclyn. Thanks for the update. I agree the best next move is just to get her out of the house and with you so that you can call the pet team and or get her to see a doctor, whatever she will be open to. I wish this was easier. It's really hard when we aren't her parents and she's not a child. I hope she responds soon. Let me know if I can help in any way. So that's kind of bland for all of what Jaclyn said to her. Kind of. That would annoy me.
They're like, oh yeah, that YouTube girl.
XOXO.
Like, we've been there. There's nothing we can do. We're not mental health professionals. We can't take her. I called mental health professionals and there was nothing they could do because they weren't law enforcement and they could not forcibly enter a home without permission, which is not something that anyone in that household was going to give. So the only thing that I could do, and this was discussed with Katie in emails, so she knows who I am. She knows what we were planning on. So the video with Shane is confusing to me that seemed to be missing, that no one, understood that, like, there were so many things going on that were toxic in that household that I explained in detail. and it was just glossed over, like maybe they don't think it's a real problem, or they don't know the extent of what happened. But the conclusion was that the only thing that I could do was if I had her out of her house and into my apartment or into some other area where the mental health professionals could come and talk to her, and that I would legally be able to let them into my own place.
Yeah.
So
reasonable.
we had been trying to hang out with Eugenia for a long time. It was very difficult to get a hold of her, to spend time with her. If people made videos about her online, or if there was drama surrounding her and negative attention was brought her way, she would become more hidden from the world. She wouldn't want to talk to people as much, and it was very difficult to get to hang out with her. So that's why in this situation we were trying to plan this thing, I was reaching out to people, begging people to stop bringing attention to her, because it could have ruined everything.
We needed her to hang out with us.
And she wouldn't leave her house. And finally we got her to leave her house. It was the day after the Super Bowl. That's all I remember, because we tried to get her to hang out on the Super Bowl and other days. It was the day after the Super Bowl. I did lie to her. I lied to her. We all kind of did. We pretended we were going to go to an escape room, which is a thing that we would regularly do.
I'm just laughing because in the Katie video, she was like, we're going to go to an escape room. Yeah, like.
So it seemed believable to her and her mom.
Specifically her mom.
Yeah. So I
No, believable for a 25-year-old's mom. We're the same age, basically. She's 26. I don't know when her birthday is, July or June. I'm May, so we're like really close in age.
Took screenshots of like pretending that I had gotten tickets and things, and we had a group chat going, and I felt like an asshole. We all kind of did, being like, we're so excited to go to the escape room.
She has to comment up with, or text. So there's EC, Eugenia, Frank, Crank That Frank, that Eva girl, and then somebody else. Wait, just cleared my schedule. Haha, sweet. I'm just gonna get the time then. Woohoo. Yay, I can't wait to see you guys. Eugenia put like a heart. Frank said, yay. Monday, February 4th, 11:42 a.m. Hey, we're still meeting today at 12:30, right? Yes, we're on the way to Jaclyn's right now. So excited. Yay, me too. Just got here, Eva. Okay.
Room. And she
just
came
trying
over,
to catch you
and
up.
We sat her down and we talked to her, and it was pretty clear that she had no intention of getting any kind of help. Like, she said, maybe I'll go see a doctor in like months from now.
Yeah, it was like 3 months later she was going to be heading home to Connecticut, and she would be willing to see a doctor then. So we had to arrange a lot of stuff in advance of this day. This is an intervention. It was heart-wrenching, but what we had to do, we spoke with her, and she
I thought he just said we smoke with her, but it was spoke. Okay, we're back.
For the first time ever in her life, admitted that there might have been a problem, and that in a few months she would see a doctor, but at this point,
maybe
she was honestly on the brink of death. And I
tried the soft approach.
We tried everything.
Like, it didn't work, and I felt desperate.
We also tried police to her house.
We did it. Like, I didn't have anything else. Like,
They're good friends.
I was scared. So we did an intervention, and the mental health professionals showed up.
So it was the Los Angeles Psychiatric Evaluation Team showed up
PET,
at the house.
yeah.
And they came in, and they interviewed her. They asked
When those people probably came in, that probably freaked her out so bad.
her questions.
We left the room for that part.
We left the room just for privacy of...
we wanted her to open up and be honest with them.
Yeah, because those are real questions that they have to ask, and personal.
So, like, she could have, it was up to them at this point what happened to her. Like, they could have walked away and said everything is fine, but they were like, really concerned. So they ended up deciding that they wanted to take her into care, and they ordered something called a 5150, and it's mandatory. They take you...
Involuntary hold.
Yeah. At which point, like, God, like, she tried to... Like,
this was the most traumatic situation I've ever been in my entire life.
once they decided that they were going to commit her legally, she was unable to leave. Like, the police were on their way because she was on the phone with her mom, who was screaming at me, by the way. She verbatim called me a fucking bitch for doing what I was doing.
How could a friend do this, I believe, to her friends? And, I mean, I don't know if you want to share more on it. It was really messed up.
She called the cops on me and tried to have me arrested for kidnapping.
Correct.
So, when Eugenia was trying to leave, we had 2 sets of cops show up.
Could you imagine that shit? Like, literally the cops that are there because they're trying to get her the help that she needs, and she's trying to leave with her bodyguard / driver, and then her mom, was on the phone. Then her mom calls a set of, separate police that show up, and then they're like, oh God.
One to take her into care, and one to arrest me for kidnapping. Clearly, they talked it out, and it was...
I knew that was going to happen.
Fine.
Kidnapping a 25-year-old?
Like, oh God, and then Edgar, like...
Okay, so there's a lot of a backstory with the mom. Eugenia is an adult. She's, I believe, 24, 25 years old. Mm-hmm. She's never allowed to go anywhere. It's all completely manipulated by the mother. There is a driver, Edgar. Every hangout with friends is an orchestrated pickup and drop-off by Edgar, who waits outside. And in this situation, when Eugenia called her mom, and her mom was furious, Edgar came into the apartment and was banging on the door.
He, followed me into my apartment. Because I had to go out and I had to tell the mental health professionals that she was trying to leave. And he, followed me into my apartment and was screaming at me. He started banging on all of my neighbors' doors until he finally got to mine and figured out where my apartment was. And he's, banging on the door.
But do you think in LA they're used to that crazy shit happening? Just, wild fights, stuff breaking out? I don't know. I don't live in Los Angeles. I wouldn't know.
I was terrified. This was a big guy. He was screaming.
These were not people looking out for Eugenia's best interest. These are people looking for some form of game manipulation in a way that this video, the Shane video that came out today, completely glosses over the real problems. And
Shane Glosson, naughty boy. Anyways, I was going to say real quick that I think the bodyguard / driver, we're going to call him that, definitely gets paid off from her parents for, obviously for driving her, but for hush money, for all of this, for sure. I feel like a freaking librarian with my glasses like this. Maybe I'll just there.
Makes us completely worried that she's not okay. The mom was discussed in this video as just going back and forth.
They were always together, so it's difficult to imagine a scenario in which her mother wasn't watching every move, but the lawyer was there.
Correct.
The lawyer was there the whole time. By the way, is also my lawyer, and has been. He texted me a couple days ago to give me an update after months. I don't know. I don't know how to feel.
Boom.
This whole thing to me feels like they are taking someone like Shane, who clearly is good at shining a positive light on people who might not. I don't even know how to word this. I just feel like, Eugenia's a great person. I love her. I care about her. The people surrounding her in her life, I feel like, are dangerous. And I think that they were
the people in her life. So is that mom and dad driver?
Aware of Shane's potential to cover their tracks and make this look like some kind of beautiful recovery story that everyone was in on and rooting for, and it couldn't be further from the truth. I had to fight them so hard to get her into care, and I'm now viewed as a bully. We're bullies.
The way her mom screamed at Jaclyn on the phone,
it was terrifying.
Was the biggest red flag of somebody who was killing their daughter.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. No mother should fight.
So that right there just shows they know that her videos are making money for their family. And recovery would mean maybe less popularity, maybe less people watching, as sick as it sounds to say.
A daughter failing a psychiatric evaluation and needing
What
to be
mother
taken
wouldn't
into
get
care.
their child help?
That
I just don't know how if I had a daughter that I would let it get that far without doing something myself.
Just said
she
that.
hasn't been to a
Thank
doctor
you.
in 5 years.
How does that happen?
I just wanted to know, I saw in a video that this whole addiction, or ED, addiction to ED, or I don't even know, like, what wording you would call it, but this whole thing started 5-ish years ago, and to be honest, that's around when I started following her online.
5 years. Anyways, this video
Now
is
my
really hard to
cane
make,
fell.
and we, you know, the Shane video, it gives us a whirlwind of emotions, and we all instantly spoke with each other and realized we were all feeling the same stress.
We were there for the intervention. I mean, it was the four of us. It was, and Frank, and we had to like, to even get to the point of wanting to sit down and have something so serious happen with someone that you care about is hard. Like, yes, it was the right thing to do, but deciding to do that, like, we knew, like, that was the end of our friendship with her, and we had to make that choice.
It was basically watch her deteriorate and possibly not make it to be able to get help, or ruin a friendship and eventually see her do better. And it's difficult because it's like, well, you know this person's gonna hate you, and I understand, like, she feels betrayed and hurt, and like seeing her, like, you know, walk away and say, like, she felt so hurt and like didn't understand really why we were doing it that way. Like, I have like nightmares. It's so sad to see someone so hurt and so far gone that was like the only option we thought that we had. We had looked for months trying to figure out what to do, and especially you.
I believe it, obviously. I'm
Jaclyn,
about to start crying. This girl.
Did a lot of the research and looked at
How
the
she
tube
talks
a
makes
lot
me want to sob.
and worked really hard to find a solution to help
She's
our
so
friend.
pretty. Look
It
her
was
up. Her
hard
name's Eva.
because when we would reach out and she would shut down, what else are you supposed to say to someone? You can't force it out of them. And what we did was, I mean,
It's the only option.
it's the only thing that we thought that we could do.
We were also fearful that if we were too in her face about it before, that her mom would not have let her continue to hang out with us.
Yes.
And I was terrified of that. Like, and I was walking a fine line the entire time.
Eggshells.
Yeah. So at that point, we decided to do the intervention and understand that it would hurt her and that we would have to watch her. And
This video feels very much like the struggle of knowing that we're going to have to hurt her for her best interest. And
I know she's going to be pissed, and I maybe other people.
Her, Jaclyn's husband's, like, holding this all together, this whole freaking video, because this girl in the end looks like she's gonna sob. Jaclyn's having, like, a panic attack. He's, like, holding the ship together.
Will be pissed too. I never know what to expect.
I hope she's
All I
recovering.
know is that I'm doing what I think is right and not letting a lie persist that this was something that was
Decided on.
or even supported by her family. Like, it wasn't. I had to fight them, and she's still with them. And this Shane Dawson show, or the video,
The Shane Dawson show. I thought he had, like, a crack on his face, too, the Shane Dawson show. No.
it paints them in a very positive light, and that is scary to me because I know what it's really like, and she's still there.
It just is concerning that she's that old. She's an adult. And there's really, from our knowledge, been no or not much of an effort for her to have gone to get help.
I've heard that.
As an adult, you can't sign someone into a inpatient facility, a hospital. You can't force them to do anything.
You can't force
which
them
is
to get
why
help.
The 5150
Exactly.
was necessary.
But this is the thing. She's obviously relapsed. she doesn't want the help, obviously, like, that's clear. So what do you do from that point? Like, what do you do when the person clearly does not want the help?
It's just like,
It's a tough situation. We're feeling all conflicting emotions. And
because
My stomach's a
it's
conflicted
not,
emotion.
like,
Oh my god, I
we're
feel
not
bad for these people.
angry, like,
I really do.
it's not like we don't want to make anyone upset or mad.
I said that in my video
This
too.
is
I'm not
more so
angry at
just
her.
us explaining
I'm like frustrated
sort
that
of
we can't
a backstory
do something.
almost, and like
the real truth.
what we
Yeah, I'm so scared. Like,
do.
So this could it's important that she gets out of a dangerous situation.
I want her to I want to have a real story to be
Told.
not
Of
told.
somebody's
I want
recovery.
A real recovery story. And
Yes.
if she is truly, I know
I swear I
that
haven't
she
watched
spent
this in a
time.
year.
Like, she spent time after she was released. She did have the choice to leave, and it was continued, which is amazing. But this was after, like, I'm sure doctors and psychologists had to tell her, like, this is your blood work. You're in a dangerous area right now, and this is. I don't know that it was maybe explained like that before. So I'm so thankful that it continued, and I hope she's really in a better place. But I know that there are a lot of things that
It's gonna set her
might
back.
point to not being the case.
And the real truth is important to get out there. I mean, even to help other people, it's not as pretty as it was painted.
Sometimes people don't just decide to get help after that much time doing what you're doing, being around people telling you that you're fine.
She did not decide that.
She didn't decide.
She fought for
As friends, we had to do something so uncomfortable and
believe that.
traumatic and force her to do this. And I don't regret it, and I'm not sorry. I don't care if I'm viewed as a bully. And I think people
She's
should
trying to
know
save her friend.
that you might have to do that in your life, and you might have to risk a friendship, and you might have to be painted
To
as
save
the
a
bad
friend.
guy.
I feel like I'm gonna start crying. Wow.
But do it.
I mean, I've personally been 5150'd, if that's what you want to call it, when I was younger.
Oh god.
Similar things. And looking back on it now, years ago, I hated my family for doing that. I didn't want anything to do with them because I felt betrayed. I felt like the trust that I may have had for them, whether they approached me in a different manner, was gone. But if that hadn't been done, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. So it's like you have to make difficult decisions. I can't even talk.
I'm about to start crying because you can tell this girl has been in the same situation as Eugenia, and this shit is so triggering for her, and yet she's so strong to sit here and make this video. So I just wanted to say that I have so much respect for her right now.
Sometimes for the better good of someone. And if you disagree
proud
with
of
what
her.
we did, that's your opinion. But if you were in our situation and it was a friend, not just someone you follow online that you have, hung out with and you care about deeply, what would you have done? Just sit and done nothing? Like, we couldn't anymore because we just kept seeing her get thinner and we were scared. Like, what else could we have done?
Yep.
Exactly.
I don't know what else to say.
They spoke to the parents. They tried to call the police. They tried to talk. Like, I truly, like, what else would I have done? Stayed out of her business, and she probably would have been dead last year. That's so sick to say, and it makes my stomach full turn, but, like, we need to be honest with ourselves.
That's it. No. I want her to be happy. I want her to recover. I want her to be healthy. I feel horrible that we hurt her so much. But I'd rather her be alive and hate me and not.
We love you, Eugenia.
It was, like, ended so awkward because, like, Jaclyn probably couldn't even, like, turn the camera off to get up. And like I said, he was the glue for that whole video. He really held it all together. That was deep. I didn't think I was gonna cry, but I did. Please let me know in the comments down below your views on this whole situation and how you're feeling about it. If you had to skip over this one, I get it. But maybe I will react to the Katie Morton one with her, because there's so many red flags in that get me really mad that she shouldn't be agreeing with. She should just let her talk. But that's for a totally different day. So thank you so much for coming in and watching this video, and I will see you in my next one tomorrow. I love you guys. And whoa, just cracked my camera. And bye.